Okay, welcome to week two. Um, week two, we are going to start getting into the research process, which I'll talk about right at the end here. First of all, you had four assignments to turn in for this past week, and um, several people did not turn in any of them. So please get going so that you don't get so overwhelmed that you can't get caught up. This next week, the two kinds of writing we're going to focus on are comparison and contrast and cause and effect. And you'll see as this work plays out yeah, how that all is going. You're going to ultimately compare an essay to a speech. They are roughly about the same topic, but they're very different in what the audience is and what the reaction I think to them both are. Let's see. You're going to start with your working on your research project. So, since the research project has to be about education and it has to be a problem, I mean, it has to be something that there are two sides to it. You can't just have a research paper saying that um, high school is a stressful time. Yeah, it is, but there's no argument there, is there? I mean, I guess there are some people that don't have a stressful time, but most people do have a stressful time. So it needs to be a topic that has can be argued by two sides. And I also said in the instructions for the research assignment is that don't avoid at all costs two things. First of all, don't make one of those arguments where you say we should go back to the past because it was better. We can't go back to the past. And that argument can't hold up against scrutiny because we weren't in the past. We don't know that it was better. And what better means to me doesn't mean better to everybody else, for instance. Um, and the other thing is, uh, don't start telling us what everything that we should do, especially if it's a pie in the sky kind of thing. You can make recommendations. You can say it seems logical that a better way to do this would be blah, blah, and blah. But you cannot just say, I'm right, you're wrong, we should just do all this and everything will be perfect. Um, we can't make life perfect and we can't make institutions perfect. We can make them better, but there isn't any way we can make them perfect. Now, this one last thing about the research project. The research assignment is a process, and what you are learning is a process. And the reason why you want to follow the process very carefully is because you will have semesters in the future where you will have to do more than one research project. And if you have kind of an idea of how the whole process goes, then it makes it much simpler. So you will be graded on all kinds of little bits of this process. We'll start out with the topic, and then you'll create a schedule, and you will you'll have a research proposal. You will also report to me how you're getting along in the little written thing. You'll have two drafts of the paper. Um, and I'll be able to give you feedback on your draft so that your final paper is as good as it gets. But it is all the steps, and they are all graded that you need to follow because you're not being graded on the perfect final research paper. As a matter of fact, a lot of people get quite high grades on final research papers that are not perfect because they have steadily improved by doing the process, and they have come to something that is 100% better than where they started from. Now, one last thing. You're not locked into the topic that you picked this week. If you change your mind and think you want to do something else, great, do it. And even if you've passed in part of the assignments for one topic and then you switch, that's fine as well. Um, Ideally, the project that you come up with is something that you have some passion about, that you have some concern about. And it doesn't have to be related to, um, what do you say, academics per se. I mean, I had a student a number of years ago who did a wonderful um, research project on helmets, mostly for football, but he was interested in what soccer should be doing about helmets, soccer for young people who are in, K-12 situations. And he had he did a great project. So just think of something that you have that you can take a strong stand on about education. I've been in education all my life, and I have tons of things that I think need to be discussed, improved. I think I have a good idea for how to make them better. Okay, good luck, and I look forward to hearing projects you have in mind and what your responses are to the readings that we have for this week. All right?